Hello and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave will be showing me...
Carcassonne.
Thank you for pronouncing it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.
Thanks.
I'm so excited to show you this game, Julie, because this is one of my all-time favorites.
Okay.
It, along with Dominion and Settlers of Catan, which we can't play because it's for 3 players and 4 players, but we're just 2. But Carcassonne was one of those first few games that I got into when I started playing. And I just love it. It has stayed consistent for me over the years. It's just, I'm very excited to show you what the game has to offer. It has some expansions in the box, and there's just so much to explore in terms of strategies you can pursue, your play style. As a 2-player game, this can be very cutthroat. And I know that's kind of your style. So
I love how in the beginning of this whole 10x10, you're like, you're not that cutthroat.
Yeah.
And then we started playing games, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, such a dark side of you that comes out in these, and I think you're going to try to annihilate me in this game. You're going to do some really dark things to me in this game. I just have this feeling.
Does this game have the capability for me to do dark things?
Oh, you have no idea.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to show me what the box looks like?
Yeah, let me hand it to you.
Yeah, jeez Louise. Trying to see this dark game. Oh, okay. It says includes the river.
Uh-huh.
What in the... Whatever. I'm sure I'll find out. Okay. So it says more than 7 million... Oh, never mind. It just says sold. I don't know. All right. Okay. Okay. It looks slightly medieval-esque.
Yeah.
And then I see you must have a separated these. All right. Is this what a meeple is?
Yeah.
Is this a real life meeple?
Real life meeple.
I like that we've been using the term meeple, and I have never ever touched a meeple.
You've never played a game with meeple in it. Well, now's your chance, because this is actually where that term originated, was from this game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at it. Look at those little means.
Yeah.
It's cute. Wait, do I get to choose my color?
Yeah, you get to choose your color. There's a whole bunch of colors in there.
There is a whole bunch of colors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Alright, so... just from, looking at it, I think it's one of those games where you, basically make a village of some sort. And then, I don't know what to call it. You basically make a town, and someone else makes a town, and you conquer their town. And these meeples are your peoples.
Meeples are your peoples, yes. Yeah, for sure.
Is that right? And then you have your, barley and food and drinks and whatnot.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of random expansions in this box, but everything for the core game is in this bag right here.
Okay.
We have the idea, we're going to be building a map together.
Together.
Tiles. Yeah, we're competing against each other, but we'll be adding to the same map. Mm-hmm. So over the course of the game, by the end, we'll have this map in front of us on the table, which I think is really cool. I love the look of the game as it goes along, but basically what we're going to be doing in this game is drawing tiles from this bag, placing them on the table, and then you can use your meeple to claim certain things. So you can use it to claim a city that you're building, and once you've placed a meeple there, it's your city to claim. And once you finish that city, then you get your meeple back and you score points based on how big the city is. But what's fun is if my city connects to your city, then it's whoever has the most meeple in that city that gets the points. So you can try to start building. I can
start building around your city.
Building around my city, building over here, and I'm going to start building close, and I'm like, that's starting to go a little bit too close. I'm going to build my city this way, and you start chasing after me, and at some point it becomes this whole sprawling mega city that's trying to connect, and 3 or 4 cities trying to come into one, and it can get crazy.
Can I circle your city in?
You can do whatever you want in this game.
If I circle your city in, can you no longer expand it?
Yeah, but you can build multiple cities. You can have, look at all the meeple that you have. You can be building...
This isn't enough meeple for how bad I'm going to conquer.
You can build, there are roads that you can build, monasteries, and then fields. The idea of fields in this game is really cool. You can use a meeple, place it face down, and once you've claimed a field, then at the end of the game, any completed city that touches your field, you get 3 points for it, even if it wasn't your city. So everything else, you get your meeple back as you finish stuff, but the farmers that you lay down stay out for the whole game. So it's like an investment.
So you low-key could just have farmers.
You could, but then you couldn't claim points for anything else throughout the game. Once all your meeples are on the board, you can't start scoring for anything else. So anyway, this game it's a lot of fun.
And how does the starting player get decided?
Yeah, the starting player.
Yes. Whoever grew up by the most farmland. That's me.
The youngest player. Wait,
hold on. Does it really say the youngest player?
Oh yeah, players choose how the first player is designated, or simply let the youngest player begin.
Ooh, looks like I'm simply beginning.
Or we could do something more exciting. We'll see.
No, I like that. We're playing it correctly.
Yeah, and if you want a little bit of backstory, you mentioned this medieval-esque. Do you want to hear the
Sure.
description? It says, Carcassonne, the world-famous French city known for its imposing fortifications erected during the Antiquity and the Middle Ages.
Yes.
Oh, that was the sentence. This fortress, surrounded by magnificent walls, still stands today as one of the most unique French cities. In this game, players must develop the area around Carcassonne. They'll place their followers onto roads and into cities, monasteries, and fields. Only those who make the most judicious placements will gain the points required to win the game.
So Carcassonne's a real place?
It is. Yes, a town in France.
Oh, well now I feel weird about my drink choice.
Oh,
you know what? No, I'm going to mix it up. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you background.
All right.
Let's do that. Okay, so I was going to say, pretend this is red wine.
Okay.
Because I don't have red wine. But it works now. Now that you told me the background of Carcassonne in France, right? Well, this is sparkling wine, but in France, they have champagne. So now this fits better instead of making you use your imagination and pretending it's red.
Okay. Well, everybody wins.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to show this to you. Can I teach you the game now? What do you think?
Yeah, you can teach me the game. We'll do our first round and then report back.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, Julie. So, first play of Carcassonne.
Yes.
What did you think?
Well, I won.
You did? That doesn't surprise me. You win, like, every game.
I don't win every game. You beat me in Dominion,
Yeah,
I think.
true.
Is that... Yeah, I think so. Okay. So I don't know if I'm just naturally seeing patterns, because that's just how my mind works.
Apparently. Patterns to victory.
Patterns to victory. But it has vibes of Azul, because you're randomly picking stuff.
Okay.
But it's still strategic, though. Like, what was that one called? Century?
Yeah.
So it's still, you still had to plan how you were going to use your meeples, because if you ran out of meeples, you ran out of points you could collect. Like, there was a road that I had that was really nice, but I couldn't collect anything on that road because I didn't have a meeple.
Yeah, it is a resource in the game where you don't want them all out, but also at the end of the game, you still get points for things that haven't been completed. So if you're left with meeple in your supply at the end of the game, then you're missing out on points. So
yeah,
it's a good balance.
Yeah, and I like that it's definitely something that I figured out that, I can prevent you from doing something by making your city harder to obtain closure.
Yeah, I noticed there were quite a few moments, even in the first game, where I could see the gears spinning in your head. Okay, if I build this city here and start building that and then connect to his, then we'll be tied. We'll connect. Like, what does that mean? You didn't know, but you knew that it did something to me.
Yeah. You know what? You know what this is?
What?
I was like, okay, so when I was playing through, in my mind, I kept going, why is this so familiar? And I know why. There's a pipe cleaning game. Why are you laughing?
Pipe cleaning game?
Where they look like this, where they have lines. So you get a square.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's T-shaped, sometimes it's a line, sometimes it's L-shaped, and you have to connect it so the water can go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this reminded me of. Obviously, it wasn't water, it was roads.
Oh, like it's a board game or?
It's like...
Or a computer game or something?
It's a game that I played in kindergarten.
Okay.
Where you connect it and, like, the marble goes through. But there's lots of different versions.
That's sounding familiar.
Yeah, there's a version where you do it with water. Like, it's multiple versions. But that's what this reminded of, because you get a square that has a shape on the inside, and you can maneuver it however you please as long as it connects correctly to the next one, because you need that road to connect.
Yeah, that's ringing a bell. And now that you mention it, as I play this game, I've never played a board game like this. When I played this game for the first time, this was completely new to me. But you're right, there are familiar elements of connecting things, like connecting the roads, like building a city. And it just has a familiar feel to it.
Yeah, I think that's where the familiarity is coming from, is that I think it's like that.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple things that you liked, the strategic nature that you could identify from the first game. Was there anything else that stood out to you as moments that you liked in the first game?
Moments that I liked.
or just aspects.
Yeah, no, I think that's about all. Like, you could use it to win, so you could play by yourself, technically, as long as the other person didn't bother you on what you were doing. And you could pay attention to the other individual that you were playing, and you could ruin their cities. Oh, I like the farm thing, but I didn't really understand it originally, but I'm sure as we play more, I'll get the farmer thing.
Yeah, the farm thing is, I would say, the most difficult aspect to grasp in your first play. Even though the rules don't seem that hard, lay down a meeple in any completed cities that connect to your field, you get 3 points for. But just visually looking at the board, it's hard to wrap your head around how to place those correctly and then how the fields actually score until you've gone through your first game and score it for the first time.
Yeah, and so that's why I just had a bunch of farmers everywhere.
Yeah,
I was like, sure.
Yeah, sounds good.
I was like, that sounds great.
Was there anything that you didn't like about the game after one play?
Anything that I didn't like about the game after one play? Oh, the scoring's a little weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you were counting the city, and there was a shield on one of them.
Yeah.
You said, like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was like, 3, 4.
Oh, because I'm just counting it really fast?
Yeah. So I guess as long as I have you, and I'm auditing your counts, even though I don't know if I'm auditing you correctly. But I guess the scoring's just a little odd to me.
Well, I can do a better job of explaining how I'm scoring to you, so you understand strategically what you're doing in the game.
Yeah, I understand the game. I understand how to get points. I just don't understand what points will be best, because I haven't had the grasp out of one game on how to count them yet.
Well, apparently enough to know how to win, so...
Maybe it's a beginner's luck thing.
Well, very fitting that they're actually meeple in this game, because what would you give this game after one play? How many meeples?
How many meeples? Oh, okay. After one play... So, you're going to be kind of confused, but I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think this is a 5.
Okay.
At least to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a 5 because I think I just need to play it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More plays.
More plays. It's nothing that the game did wrong, I just need to play it more.
Sounds good. But what do you like to do the 10x10 challenge with this?
Yeah, we could do a 10x10. What was your meeple rating before we go into that?
Yeah, this game, it's not like a new impression for me, just because I've played it so many times over the years, so I'm excited to see if it still holds up. But I would say going into this, even just after another play, like 4.5 for me out of 5 meeples
very nice,
for this
very
game.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how did you like my pairing?
I really enjoyed the pairing. It was very good, fitting for the village in France where we're building this beautiful field and cities all around. So I enjoyed it. Thank you
solid.
so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll do the 10x10 with you.
Perfect. Let's go do that. We'll play the game a bunch, and then we'll come back and talk about what we think.
All right. So I just wanted to jump back in real quick. We had just got done playing 3 games out of our 10x10, and I won the first initial game where I tried it out for the first time. Dave won the second by, what was it, like 3 points, 4 points?
It was something like that. It was pretty close.
And then I just demolished.
186 to 124.
Yes, I got 186.
Can we explain how that happened? It was a big mistake that I made.
I don't understand how you made that mistake, but I'm so proud of my scores. Okay, so Dave implemented the rivers, and so we started with the river, and then we worked off of it. With that, he also gave a bigger meeple, which is worth 2 meeples. I had saw a really nice looking city. It was
really good city.
It was.
Yeah.
And I had put a 2 meepler down, and he, for some reason, was building the city.
Well, we were both out of meeples, so I was like, okay, I'm going to take one for the team. I'm just going to finish this city so we can get our meeple back.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, because we were both just drawing tiles and placing them.
I didn't realize you were out of meeples.
Yeah. So I took one for the team, decided to build it really fast. And then as soon as I finished it, I said, okay, we both have our meeple back. We'll both score the same number of points, but then when I grabbed your meeple, I realized it was one of the big ones, and you took all the points, and it was like 48 points for that whole city.
It was 48 points,
That was so stupid of me, but you were really confused why I was going after the city.
I was so confused. I was like, okay.
Does he know what he was doing?
I'm surprised you didn't stop and go, why are you so confused on what's going on? Okay, but either way, I still also had some farmers laid down, so... Still had a good time.
It was still a good time.
It was still a good time.
And we played with the Inns and Cathedrals expansion, which adds a couple of things, and I thought that was pretty fun. I love playing with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything different because you implemented it second game, so... Alright, did you want to get back into our 10x10?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. We are now back from our 10x10 day.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. What a journey it has been. Yes,
it has been
that is correct
journey.
English. So,
who won?
Well, that is a good question. Because who won?
It was
a tie. Jinx!
I thought that I won it because I won the last game, but I looked back and it was 5-5.
The last game, you won by a lot.
A lot, yeah.
But was that just because we played with two expansions? Is that what they would be, or what would they be? Yeah,
we did, and we played throughout the 10x10. We threw in a few, but the last game we played with Inns and Cathedrals and Traders and Builders. That's a lot of words.
Yeah.
But it adds a lot more tiles, so the game was longer, but it also makes it so you can score a lot more points. Like our last game, I scored 233 points.
The last game was probably the most satisfying because of how high we got in scoring. Because didn't we both get 200?
Yeah, you did break 200. You got 214. I wasn't sure if you would, but...
You weren't sure if I would? I had a pig in my field, okay.
Yeah, I bet you didn't wake up today thinking you would say that. Or maybe based on where you're from, you did. Maybe it's a normal thing for people to say.
I was so excited to see the little piggies. I was so excited. It reminded me of all the pigs in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because on the farm, like the farm that I have there, we have pigs. This isn't a farming story, but
no, it can be.
It can be.
You have pigs?
Yeah, we have pigs. We had carabao.
What was that?
Water buffalo.
A water buffalo.
Yeah.
You have water buffalo on your farm?
Yeah. Yeah, they plow the rice fields.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm learning something new today. I thought water buffalo were just in the wild. Like,
what?
I don't know.
You want to see pictures? I have pictures where I'm riding them.
What, really?
Oh, yeah, I'm very primal when I go back home.
Did you name them all and everything? Like there's Steve.
Why would I? No, I wouldn't name them. No, I didn't name them. I want to say, yeah, I didn't name them. I didn't really get to see them a lot because you can't. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, they're pretty cool. They're my favorite on the farm because I don't like the cows.
Why not?
Because I can't ride the cows. They buck me off.
That's why?
Yeah, I don't know. They're not nice. Like, I want to, like, go pet them and stuff, and they moo and run away from me.
How rude of them.
I know, right?
They are just trying to live their life.
I have lots of goats. See, look at this. Is that's what Carcassonne.
I like baby goats.
Oh, these goats are so cute. I need to show you my goats.
Well, we're here to talk about...
our 10x10 challenge. Not my farm.
So I'm curious what you thought of the game over the span of the 10 games, but also mixing in the different expansions. Because we played with Inns and Cathedrals, which adds like the double scoring for roads, the extra point for the cities if you put a cathedral in there.
Yeah.
And then Traders and Builders gives you these tokens that you collect that come up as you build cities, and then whoever has the most of each type gets extra points, and then it gives you different meeple. You got the builder, and it lets you build cities faster. The pigs, which you love, give you more points for scoring fields. And then the tower lets you knock other players' meeple off the board by constructing these like
the tower
3D towers, which is pretty cool.
The tower.
I think I have a couple more expansions, but I think that's all we played with over the span of the 10x10.
There looked like there was a dragon in your box.
The princess and the dragon.
Why didn't we play the princess and the dragon?
Well, we still can. We don't have to stop playing the game now that the 10x10's done. We can still...
You're like, we add in expansions. We have this wonderful princess and the dragon one, but let's not play that one. Let's not try that one out, Julie.
Oh, we'll get there. I was trying to get through all of them kind of in order, I guess. I don't know. But then I guess the river is considered an expansion. That comes with the base game, though. But what did you think of the game just by itself? And then how did your opinion change as we peppered in these little expansions? But you can mix and match. Some games I was like, we're playing with just this. Other games I was like, we're playing with everything. So
okay, so
take me through the journey.
Original didn't have the chapels.
No, or the inns.
The inns.
Yeah.
It just had the fields, the roads, and the cities.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And we played that one by itself 5 times, at least.
I think so.
And then we added in, like, the river and everything to get a feel for it, right?
Yeah, the river, and then it was the cathedrals, and then the tower, and then traders and builders. Yeah.
Okay. So, the game by itself, if I had to do a full 10 by 10 with it, so nothing on the game.
No.
The game is good. But if I had to do a full 10 by 10 of the base game, it would become very stale quickly because it only had the aspects of roads, fields, and cities. But the expansions made it more entertaining and fun because I feel like it became more challenging then.
Oh.
Well, in the beginning, it was more like, oh yeah, we're building roads, fields, and cities. But then the expansions kind of made it more complicated.
So you were looking for a more complex experience.
Yeah.
Or were you looking for more variety, or was it what was it about just the base game itself that you think would make it stale?
I feel because I could build my city over here and you could build your city over there, and then there's that, with just how the city pieces were.
Yeah.
Original city pieces. And then there was like one piece that we were looking for specifically. We're like, yeah, we got it. Like the weird triangle piece.
Yeah.
But then once the expansion starting to come in, the roads started to get different. Like there was like 4-way roads. There was more to the city where it was odd corners, more unique city shapes.
Yeah.
That made you twist your brain a little bit and try to configure it into how you want your city to be set up. While the base game had the big tile of the city, where like that square city, and then just the like borders. So to me, it felt easier to build my cities, my roads, and my fields.
Not a lot of added challenges.
Yeah, it wasn't as complicated as when you started adding in everything.
But what do you think about the level of player interaction in the game? I know that you and I, it seems like we played different styles throughout the 10 by 10. Some games we were playing in our little corners. I was building my city, do my own thing. You're over there. In other games, you were just up in my business, like trying to build it in my city.
I was up in your business? You were up in mine.
Yeah. Especially that last game.
Yes, there was the last round you made me so angry.
I have not seen you. I was a little scared. I was like, is she going to stop talking to me?
Oh, I was so bad.
There was that big city you were building, and it had wheat. It
had wheat, it had a barrel, and a ribbon. It had all 3.
Yeah, and not only did I complete your city, but I also took over your city too with my giant meeple, which counts as 2.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I put that over here, and then I connected it and completed it. And since I completed the city, I got all those goodies.
Yeah, you got 32 points.
Oh, from the city itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then from the tokens, even more. That was a very... I'm not making you any happier with me, I can see.
No.
I'm scared right now. The way you're looking at me.
I'm just so mad. Because I literally was building it. Like, you could see the progression. And then you came in with 2. 2 tiles. Only 2.
You spent a lot of time. But you also had the builder in there to help you build it faster, so it wasn't as many wasted turns.
It was wasted.
I'm not helping my case.
No, you're not helping your case.
It's when you start saying things like, that's okay. It's okay. I'm like, it's not okay.
I almost thought it was okay.
I will regret this. I know. When I least expect it. Maybe not in this game, but in a future game.
In the future game, something's going to happen, and you'll be like, that's what you got!
5 10 by 10s from now, you're going to be like, remember that one time in Carcassonne when you took over my city? Like, take that.
I'll be like, this is for that. Feel the salt. Feel the burn. So, speaking of that, what were the wheat, barrel, and ribbon? What was that? Because it wasn't fully explained, but I also didn't fully ask about it.
Yeah.
But what was the purpose of that? Was that with the trader aspect?
The traders, exactly. It's supposed to represent different goods that the city produces or manufactures. Okay.
And it's just basically the city makes this. If you finish the city, you basically produce that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You reap the benefit.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very simple.
So, and I was going to ask a wquestion, though, when I went off on the whole journey of that thing that made you so happy with me. But
angry.
Do you think in the base game alone, though, that there are different ways of playing to explore it that mix the game up? Or do you think that just, no matter what, it will get stale and you need to throw in expansions? Do you think this game needs expansions, I guess is what I'm asking.
For me, personally, I would need the expansions because with how the cities... Because I was kind of like a city chaser. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
I was a city chaser. There we go. So with how the cities were formed, they were more uniformed than the expansions. They weren't like perfect.
Yeah.
But it was easier to build perfect cities and have a city completed prior to the other person messing up with your city or being able to connect to your city.
Yeah.
While the expansions allowed other aspects of the game to distract you from building roads, building fields, and building cities. Like the tower ones. Like, okay, now I have to look out for tower pieces and make sure that I don't have my meeple placed within proximity so that they don't get booted off. Or like the last one, it was just like, oh yeah, I'm building the city. Oh great, I have a good. Now I have to finish the city. So it was kind of like a race.
It is. I also liked in the Traders and Builders one how it added pressure to like finish your own city because you didn't want the other person to finish it. So like some games would go on for turns and turns of like, let's see how big I can make this city.
Yeah.
But the only threat was the other person coming in. But this one, the threat was somebody finishing it, which you kind of like waste your turn, but then you get all this cool stuff. So it did mix up. I think like you said, it distracts from the main thing that you might be trying to do, which is going for a city, but it almost puts you into a different mindset or play style.
Exactly. And you kind of have to choose, like, do I finish this person's city to potentially get 10 points at the end for collecting more goods than the other individual?
Yeah.
But then, in turn, giving them points? Or do I go focus this piece somewhere else? Because there was so many times, well, there was that one time that you got a piece that would have finished something.
Oh.
And then you decided not to. And then there was that one time that you got a piece that could finish something, and then you did. So, you know...
Sounds like you filed a lot of grievances against me.
I did. I really did. Yeah, that last game was definitely cutthroat.
I would agree. And like I said, some of them didn't. But I guess my other question is, a game like Azul, like you loved Azul, and that game has almost no variability. It's the exact same game every single time. But this game, you said it needed expansions to distract you from your main way of doing things. How would you compare Carcassonne to like Azul in terms of its need for replayability versus a game that you could just play the same exact way every single time? Why is this different than Azul?
I think this is different than Azul because in Azul, I could affect your score if I thought steps ahead of what I was going to grab and trying to guess what you were going to grab. This game, I couldn't guess what you were going to grab. I couldn't plan out the map because I didn't know what I could potentially get. Well, with Azul, everything's out on the board for you, so there's not much thinking of or guessing of what I'm going to choose to do something.
Oh, okay.
Well, this one, it's like, oh, I really need a city piece, and then you got a road or a field, and you're like, I really need a city piece, and then you finally get it 5 turns later, but you already started building into my city and messed up that part of the square that I needed like a triangle for, but now I need a double-sided city.
Yeah.
So
you're looking for that specific piece.
Right.
But in this game, you're only drawing one tile on your turn.
Yep.
So what do you think in terms of the strategic nature of this game? Is there an opportunity to think strategically, or is it just limited to thinking tactically, turn by turn?
I think it's a little both, almost. So I think it's definitely more tactical. Is that what you called it, tactically?
Yeah.
So I think it's that because you don't know what you're going to get. You just don't. But I think in a way you can somewhat plan strategically if because in the expansions or in the starter, it tells you how many of each tile there are.
Yeah.
So kind of like counting cards.
Which I've never used that, by the way.
Oh, okay. I did a few times.
Yeah, I noticed. That's your strategic brain. Like, there's Julie counting the pieces.
Well, there you go.
Figure it out.
That's how it could be strategically played is you have your thing going on, and you could kind of build it close to roads or by a road, knowing that there's a piece that's half city, half road, or you could build it by a field, knowing that there's a piece that's left that's half field, half city, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you can build your city into an aspect or element that you know still exists in the pile.
Yeah.
But that's if you're paying attention, looking at the whole board, and know it still exists. Because if you do that, and then it doesn't exist, then you're just out of luck. But
that's so funny.
So there has been a few times when I knew it existed, and so I built my city that way, and then you drew it, and those are the times where I'm like, no.
I'm just cracking up because the way I think about it, I don't look at that sheet and I don't try to figure it out because I like to hang on to the hope. Like the hope that piece will come up, the hope that I can fit it in just right into that one space in order to finish that city. I think that my dreams would be crushed if I looked on the sheet and mapped it out and looked at the board and think this is no chance. I would just get really sad.
So yes, that is why I feel that the original to me isn't as replayable,
yeah.
Yeah, compared to the expansions of this game.
So do you think the expansions for this game are, what do you call them, like essential? Like if you want to play Azul, if you want to play Carcassonne, you want to pick up Carcassonne, would you say go ahead and pick up an expansion with it, like in order to make it a great game?
For me, so for somebody who's extremely competitive,
yeah,
and somebody who likes to have a game where it feels more so that you're playing with another player and you can affect one another, I would say that this game would need an expansion pack.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who's just like you, like, I know you have competitive edges, but if you're more so somebody who is okay with going with the flow and like don't really mind, still tries to win, still does their best to win, but isn't trying to just attack somebody in a game, then I think the base is fine.
Yeah. And I'm just curious because I would consider some of these expansions essential, and that's why I threw them into this 10x10 rather than just playing the base game all the way through. Mm-hmm. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm almost wondering, do you think that a game that needs expansions is still a good game by itself? Or do you think, like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it okay for a game to need expansions, or do you think that a game should be just a good game by itself without expansions?
Is this like Lord of the Rings in a way? Like, Lord of the Rings is really good, and then you watch the extended version and it's still good, but kind of opposite.
Yeah, kind of.
I would say, I think, so for this game specifically, I think that this game is a good game. It has, so even though this wasn't like my first game or into board gaming or anything like that, there is still this weird subconscious nostalgic feel to it. I don't know what it is, but that's just what I get from playing it.
Yeah.
And because of that, I feel that if it's a game that you might play like once a month at the base level, that it's fine. Like, it doesn't need anything else. If you're just going for that nostalgia, that chill game, like, that's fine. But if you take it out because you want to do something challenging or something more combative, like back and forth-esque, I feel that at that point you need the expansion. So I guess, long story long, I think the game's fine how it is. It's just preference of what that person is looking for in gameplay.
That's a good way of putting it, because I do think the game by itself is a good game, and maybe the base game alone is, we can talk about who is this game for. I think the base game alone is probably for like families, maybe like playing with kids, maybe even adults who this is the only game they ever play and you don't want a lot of rules. Although the farms, I think, are a little bit complex to explain. Other than that,
the farms were a little odd for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, but I think depending on who you're playing with, like for us, even after having played a few games with you, I could tell that you were ready for that more complex or more intricate game experience or just adding more variety to it.
Yeah.
Which is why I just played with the base game alone for a few times and gauged how you reacted to it. And then I thought, okay, we can add this in, we can add that in. And so I do think that, because I've always said, it's been my opinion that a game shouldn't need expansions to be a good game. Like, whenever I've played a game and I didn't like it, and someone said, "Oh, you need to get this expansion. This fixes all the problems." I think the game should be fine by itself, and then the expansions just add more of what you already like about the game. Yeah. So I haven't been like a huge expansion
Lord of the
person.
Rings.
Exactly. But this game, I think, is a little bit different because the game by itself is good, but I do think that you need the others to be able to customize the game experience for what you're going for.
Yeah.
Do you want just like a simple, like, throw down like an easy, like, relaxing game and just, the base game is good, but then if you want more cutthroat, you can throw in the tower. Or if you want more of a strategic, interesting decision space, like the traders and builders. So there's this different ways, and I would just recommend picking up a few of them depending on who you're playing with and what you want. So
yeah, I like that you added the expansions, because just with my game style and how my brain needs to process information quickly, otherwise I get really antsy.
Yeah.
I think it was a good idea on your part, because if we did it with the base game for the full 10x10, I think that there's a good chance that my outlook may be different, but because we did play with the expansions, my outlook was changed, and so I appreciate the game more, I feel.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense. Do you think that this game, after, what was this, game number 5 for us?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think that your opinion of it would have been different if it were like the first game you played? How do you think that, because you played other games, how do you think that's affected your opinion of it now?
Let's see. With the way that this is set up, I like Azul. I think I just have this underlying bias of Azul because of the music that goes along with it. But
I love that music.
I think if this was the first game, that it might, and we just played the base version.
Yeah.
And especially with finding out my game style and realizing that I am the very competitive attacking type, like I'm more so attack than defense, that if this was the first, I might not have been so willing to do my like board gaming journey, just because I would have been like, oh, so in a way it's just, I don't see, it's just chill. Like, this is just a chill game. Yeah. Well, like, because Azul, I got a little taste of victory with like attacking and like strategic. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
when I saw that click in your eyes, I knew.
You're like, she wants victory.
Yeah, in vicious games. Unless I'm vicious against her.
Right. But no, I do like this game. I really do. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just my personal play style that I don't know why, but that's what I seem to just be chasing. It's, you get a little taste of something and you're going for it. And I think that's what I'm going for right now. But I think with more games that we play, like that you show me, that I'm going to come back to this just like you. And be like, this is just the OG game. And especially it's my meeple. It's the first time I saw a meeple. And then I saw a pig meeple. So I saw multiple meeple styles.
I was really happy to come back to this game. And it had been a while since I played it before. And it just, there's something about it. Like, I don't know that I'm going to want to play this game every single day of the year. But when I put it on the table and I see all the meeple on the table and the map as it spreads out. And just the fun city building and endless road building sometimes.
We're construction workers.
Yeah. It just is kind of like that. It's like the comfort. I don't know, like the movie that you can come back to, like Lord of the Rings. Let's just talk about Lord of the Rings. Like, you can throw on Lord of the Rings. Like, do I want to watch it every day of the year? Probably not. But when you put it on like once a year, like, or Harry Potter or something, like, I'm like, yeah, this is a good movie. Yeah. This is a good series.
You're like, I remember, I like this.
Yeah. So I think Carcassonne is kind of like that for me. Do you want to talk like meeple score? I'm curious where you land, because initially you were like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I was a 4 out of 5.
First impression. Yeah. Where do you sit now?
I was 4 out of 5 meeple people.
Meeple people. Yeah.
But now I'm a 4 out of 5 meeple piglets. I don't know.
So you're still like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I would say I'm a 4 out of 5. If we played the base, I think that my score may have been different. But because of the expansions, I'm keeping my score at 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
What's yours?
So I put 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
and
you
I've
did
been,
do a 4.5, yeah.
I've been thinking about it, and what is like a 4.5 or a 4 versus 5. I think like a 5 is a game, no matter what, I'm always going to want to play. Mm-hmm. And a 4.5 is like teetering right on that. So I mentioned the fact that I wouldn't want to play this game every single day, but the fact when I bring it out, I still really appreciate it and enjoy it. So I think it'll land about 4 out of 5 the more I think about it. And one of the things that I noticed since I've played a lot more games over the years and I come back to this, there's a couple things like that they kind of detract from the game a little bit. One is the roads. I think the roads are kind of the less interesting part of the game, in my opinion.
But some people might really like the roads, you know? They might connect a city and keep the road going to a whole other city.
It's true. And I don't know, like, some games I've been trying to build this city and then I don't know what it is. Like, at the very end of the game when it's like that critical, oh, I need to finish this, I always pull road after road after road. Like, I don't want roads. But then I guess if you focus on the roads, you could actually get a lot of points.
Right. And you could be mad that you pulled a city.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
That's true.
It depends on your strategy.
That's true. I'm kind of more of a city guy. So.
I know. The cities are just so much more appealing and easier because the tile looks different.
Yeah. And then the other thing, just the fact that you're drawing one tile, it kind of like limits, you're just, oh, I drew one thing, that's all that I can place on my turn. I've heard of house rules where people draw 3, but I'm just not a fan of like house ruling a game. So if there was like a way to mitigate the luck of the draw where there was more options on your turn, I think that
would be helpful.
Boost it up, not like a lot, but I think if I'm what do you call it? Like I'm looking for something critical to say about the game. Those would be the things that detract a little bit.
Dislike when people have to look for something. If you have to look this hard, come on.
But that's the reason why it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay, no, that's reasonable. I like how you determine it off of if it's something that you're willing to play all the time. But yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree with your score.
So Julie,
yes,
are we going to keep it to play or trade it away?
See, this is so hard because, like you had said, well, if we're just basing it off of our shelf with the limited space we have, and if we're gonna do more 10x10s in the future, perhaps we can store it away.
Store it away? What does that mean?
There's a third option.
Where's the storage?
I don't know, in the closet. We'll find space.
Find storage.
We'll find space.
It won't be like the shiny, it won't be like on display on our main shelf. It'll be kind of our backup.
But then you find it, and then you're so happy you found
let's throw on some meeple. Let's do it.
Right. It'll be like, this is the first meeple I have.
So am I changing this to keep it to play, trade it away, or store it temporarily?
No, you can keep it the same, but this game specifically just has a little Easter egg, little tree of store it away.
Well, thanks so much for playing this game with me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for showing me. I do really like this game, Dave. I do appreciate it. So
good. I'm so glad. Well, thank you so much, and for listening. That's all that we have for this week. We would love to hear from you. So if you'd like to reach out to us, you can email us at thedicejesters@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram at dicejesters. And be sure to join us next time for our in-depth look at the game Canvas. And until then, play all the games with the ones you love.